Hi everyone, my name is Tuğçe. I'm part of the Broad Club team. I'm responsible for Oxbridge and medical school applications, and today I'll be talking a little bit about how to validate your medical degree in the UK, how to practice medicine if you have an international qualification, international medical qualification. The process is very long. That's why it is very important to know the requirements beforehand, to understand the conditions and the process beforehand, to follow and to make the process easier. First of all the doctors who would like to practice medicine in the UK, they have to register with the General Medical Council. The requirement for registration might depend on different factors and obviously would be different for students, medical school graduates who studied medicine in the UK or someone who studied medicine elsewhere in the world. So what are the requirements of the registration? First of all, it would depend on the country or the medical school that you gain your medical qualification. To understand this, first of all, you can check if your medical school is registered here in the World Directory of Medical Schools. Let's check it out for Colombia. So you'll be seeing 60 medical schools registered here. If your university is one of those, that means most likely your qualification will be accepted by the General Medical Council. However, to make sure and to get a concrete answer, you can create an online account with the General Medical Council and then send your qualification documents, which would be academic transcript, graduation certificate in English. And then they would be guiding you about if there is anything else needed, any additional detail about your curriculum, more details, then they will be guiding you about that process and give you the decision if they accept your qualification or not. And the registration also depends on the type of work you want to do, what would you like to do, in what you want to specialize in. And obviously also depends whether you have completed a training after your graduation or an internship. So we have 4 types of main registration, and the first 2 are very important for the international medical school graduates. First of all is the provisional registration, the first one. The second one is full registration, and then we have specialist and GP registration. I will explain you a little bit about the first 2 because, as I said, it's the relevant one for you that you need to know. What is provisional registration? Provisional registration allows you to take part in an approved foundation year program in the UK. You might ask now, what is foundation program? All medical school graduates in the UK, they have to go through a 2-year foundation program right after their graduation. A medical school student graduates and then starts straight away with the foundation year program. And it lasts 2 years. And the first year, they can apply for the provisional registration. That is the provisional registration stage. And the foundation program helps them gain experience in a series of placement in a variety of specialties and healthcare settings. So it prepares for them to actually practice medicine in the UK and also to learn about how the UK medical system works to practice, because they might be UK students, they are learning there, and for the international students to learn about the UK medical system. And upon a completion of the foundation year, the first year of foundation year, you will be able to apply for a full registration. And with the full registration, you progress also on to second year of the foundation program. So these are the types of registrations. And let me explain you now then who actually can apply for full registration or provisional registration. To apply for provisional registration, this is for international medical school graduates. So you have to graduate from a medical school outside of the UK or Switzerland. And you have to pass something called PLAB test, which I will explain in a bit. And there will be some changes in the near future. Also, we will be mentioning all those. And you haven't completed an internship. So provisional registration is for medical school graduates who already graduated. They passed the PLAB test, but they have no internship experience yet. The reason why, because they will be then eligible for the foundation year 1 and start practicing in the UK. Therefore, without internship, that could be also possible. And full registration for international medical school graduate. Again, you have to be graduated from medical school outside the UK or Switzerland, passed the PLAB test, and have completed an internship. If you have completed an internship after your graduation, that gives you the skip the foundation year one. And to explain about the PLAB test, because now we've been talking about it, it is a test. It has two parts, and the first part is a written exam, 180 multiple questions. You are given with a short scenario and the 5 possible answers, and then you need to pick the right one. And 180 questions that has to be like you only have basically 3 hours to complete. So for each question, you have 1 minute. You have to complete each question in 1 minute to be able to finish on time. The test could be taken in the UK or in other available countries. At the moment, there is no availability in any of the Latin countries, so that possibility would be taking it in the UK. And the exam fees, as you can see, and it might change again depending on the time, but at the moment it's £255. And the second part of the PLAB test is objective structured clinical exam. So it consists of 16 scenarios, and each scenario lasting 8 minutes, and aims to show real life settings. And it also includes a mock consultation. So it's a little bit more practical in this part. And the part 2, tests run throughout the year at certain clinics, at certain cities, in the UK. The exam fee would be £934. Again, it might change. However, as we mentioned, there will be changes in the near future. PLAB test will be replaced by medical licensing assessment from 2024-2025 academic years and onwards. So if you are planning to apply after those dates, then you will work towards the medical licensing assessment, which is expected to be very similar to the PLAB test. And there is another route that I would like to explain very briefly. You or might also apply for something called sponsorship route. For that, again, you have to be graduated from a medical school outside the UK or Switzerland, hold a medical school qualification, a medical qualification, and you have to be accepted for a postgraduate training by UK Medical Royal College or a faculty or one of the list of approved sponsors that I'll show you here briefly. Okay. You have to be accepted by one of those sponsored. To do the postgraduate training. However, to be eligible for this, you need to have at least 3 years of work experience in the last 5 years, and the last year being the 12 months of experience, full work experience. And through this route, what happens is like the sponsor does the checks and every requirement. So you need to satisfy the sponsor that you know and you have the skills. Each sponsor might have their own rules, and all approved by the General Medical Council. If you satisfy the requirements, that means that you will have a sponsorship registration certificate, and with that certificate, you can apply for General Medical Council registration. However, that doesn't mean to work sponsorship. For the work sponsorship, you would still need to apply for your visa and everything. That would be different. This is only sponsorship for you to be able to register for the General Medical Council. The last but not the least, to do all this process, obviously the most important thing is meeting the English requirements. When it comes to the health and human health, what every country would check the language requirements, because it's very sensitive subject when it comes to the health. And therefore, to do all the process, to do even the PLAB test, you need to, first of all, show your English language skills. So pass either IELTS or Occupational English Test, OET, to show your English language abilities. It has to be IELTS academic, and the requirement is the score they are looking for is 7.5 overall. No section, reading, listening, writing or speaking below 7.0. And if you are taking occupational English test, you have to take the medical version and at least grade B in each section. Therefore, it's very important, even before starting the process, to get your IELTS or to get your OET, get your English level to the level that is required, because you might have actually a good level of English, good command of English when you write, when you speak, but having 7.5 might not be that easy. That will be the first thing we always suggest medical school graduates or students work towards it if you want to practice medicine in the UK. And what our suggestion is also taking an English language test, course, preparation course in the UK or any other English spoken country. Obviously the UK, if you would like to register in the UK and to understand the system a bit more. And there are many IELTS preparation courses or OET courses are also available in the language school. So for any questions, we'll be around here. Thank you very much.